Good afternoon. How are you? Well, it's a beautiful day out. Now, you may notice that I have a hole in my mouth. So I got a tooth that got knocked out, and it was I discovered it when eating wheat thins with hummus. So what do you think? You think the hummus did it? So I'm going to see my dentist tomorrow. So don't be distracted by it any more than I've already caused you to be. The weather is 76 degrees, but the humidity is 69, and the wind is at 14. But I don't feel any of that here. So I've asked Thomas Jefferson to go back and take another measurement. I was just laughing at the bird. U.S. Cardinal Timothy Dolan said today that Trump posing as the Pope wasn't good. For an Irish name, so understated and diplomatic and charitable, you might say. But when pressed after a mass in Rome, if he would like to expand upon his thinking, he referred to Trump as "butta figura." And to people who really speak Italian, you figure out if I approximated. It's just another way of saying that you made yourself look bad. And he did express the hope that Trump didn't know that they had done it, but you just know he did, which shows you the generosity and the charity of a cardinal in Rome to our president here. Now, Trump is just amazing for his conceited ignorance, not conceited, although it's close, right? And the thing I'm thinking about is he doesn't know if he's required to uphold the U.S. Constitution. Now, I don't know how many people around the world saw him take the oath, but part of the oath provides that he will, quote, to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. What is it about this guy? Now, is this another example of a butta figura, that he says this to hurt others and knows better, but then why would he do that? To say that he doesn't have an obligation and an oath that he swore to do that? And oaths mean something to people, but not to him. He is above and believes is transcendent. How quaint it is that you and I might actually follow the law and respect it, invest in it, and expect it to be enforced. Not Trump. Trump is this child with enormous power, and nobody just, metaphorically speaking, slaps him across the face, which is what you would do with an adult political size oaf like Trump. So he didn't know that, and he didn't know what the Declaration of Independence was all about in a recent interview. Is there any bottom to the collection of things that Trump says he doesn't know and then proves he doesn't respect? And maybe that's how he gets confused. But I'm sorry I use the word confused, because it suggests that he doesn't know exactly what he's doing in his gruff, coercive, bullying way. Now, let's talk a little bit about what could be good news. Zelensky said he thinks there could be a ceasefire possible at any time. Now, I would like to believe that because I want to believe in the result. However, don't you feel that Trump got access to Ukraine's minerals and will renege on the rest because it requires him to contradict his puppeteer? And Trump hasn't shown himself to be forceful ever to Putin. In fact, he mimics Putin, mimicking Stalin, increasingly with greater similarity every day that passes since his inauguration. Now, let's go to another buta figura, that our worthless president does nothing to save the hungry Gaza children and others from dying. And still another buta figura. The Department of Justice is concerned that a local prosecution office is concerned to consider racial disparity in the pleas they uphold. The Department of Injustice, full blown. This is what they do. This is what they say. And why are we talking publicly about what is supposedly only an investigation? And it's because the information's put out there to rev up the troops, the maggots. In other words, it's political. It's not just at all. It's entirely unjust. Because the Department of Justice, when I was there, you'd fire the guy's ass if he'd go out and talk about an investigation. In fact, we limited ourselves. We're required to limit ourselves to, there's an indictment, and there may be brief description of the charges, and we would always talk about how the person who was indicted, not investigated, indicted, had a right to his or her or its day in court, because the presumption they were innocent until it was otherwise proven. You know, Nixon felt inferior to smarter people. And I imagine the chasm that exists and divides us from this person's meager intelligence and gross, obnoxious, terrorizing bullying is damn near infinite. I think we have to think in poetic and politic terms about Trump. Trump treads hard and furiously among our shared dreams to preserve and protect our Constitution, to have the liberties guaranteed us by equality under our Constitution. And so it comes to my mind that we should and do protest to the oath in the White House. To borrow from Yeats, I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softer, because you tread on my dreams. There's another quote by Yeats that I've mentioned before. And he said it was an Irish curse to dream things the world had never seen. But what I offer is, because people dream things and they believe they can do things, they do things. They accomplish their dreams. They make them real. And that's what we have to do. We have to oust this bastard out of the White House and secure the Republic against this traitor. Demonstrably a traitor. A man who actually succeeded in a slow burn to have a successful coup, with him forgiving everybody who stormed the Capitol and the prosecutions against him as well. Can you imagine how any objective observer would think this man should be our president? No. This man is a scandal, an embarrassment, a humiliation, a contradiction of all that was best about America. And so he must go. And sooner or later he will. And we must speak to our so-called leaders and tell them to get out of their offices and work for the Republic. For otherwise they may find themselves at a camp under this guy. So that's what I have to say. And it's a pretty day. And so I say goodbye to you for today from this cathedral of trees. And tomorrow I'll have a tooth over here. Bye-bye.